Wondering how billionaires manage their time differently? If you want to follow the same path, this video is for you. Elon Musk runs multiple massive companies. Warren Buffett reads for hours every day. Larry Ellison walks away from meetings that waste 5 minutes. Mark Zuckerberg protects his mornings like a fortress. Jeff Bezos obsesses over a few decisions that shape years. Steve Ballmer? Relentless focus. Zero tolerance for drift. Same 24 hours. Wildly different results. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't lose time. You leak it. Tiny distractions. Unclear priorities. Days that feel busy but go nowhere. And if nothing changes, 5 years from now will look a lot like today. This video isn't about working harder, it's about playing a different game. Watch closely, because once you see how the ultra-successful tree time, you can't unsee it. Why do billionaires manage their energy rather than managing time? Most people wake up tired, not because they didn't sleep, because their day already owns them. Before their feet hit the floor, their mind is already racing. Messages, notifications, noise. They don't start the day. They react to it. Billionaires don't live like that. They understand a truth most people never learn. Time doesn't create results. Energy does. You can have 8 free hours and do nothing meaningful with them. Or you can have 1 powerful hour and change the direction of your life. That's the difference. Elon Musk does a schedule based on comfort. He schedules based on impact. The hardest problems? They go where his energy is strongest. Not at the end of the day. Not when he's drained. But when his mind is sharp. Because high-level thinking requires fuel. And when the fuel is gone, no amount of time will save you. Think about last week. How many important things did you push to later? And how many meaningless things filled your best hours? Be honest. That answer explains why progress feels slow. Warren Buffett protects energy like it's gold. You won't see his calendar packed wall to wall. You'll see space, thinking space, reading space, decision space. Why? Because clarity doesn't come from rushing. It comes from calm focus. Most people think success is about speed. It's not. It's about direction, powered by energy. If your mind is cluttered, you'll work hard and go nowhere. Here's the trap. People try to manage time when they're already exhausted. They download apps, they make to-do lists, they color code calendars, but they never ask the real question, when do I do my best thinking? Not when are you available, not when others expect you. When are you at your peak? Morning, late night, early afternoon? That window is everything, and most people waste it. Mark Zuckerberg figured this out early. He removed friction from his day, not to be lazy, but to preserve focus. Less decision-making, less distraction, more energy for what mattered. Because every small drain adds up. Every interruption steals momentum. Every unnecessary task pulls power away. By the time most people reach the important work, they're already empty. Let's slow this down. Energy is not just physical, it's mental, emotional. If you're stressed, distracted, or overwhelmed, your energy leaks out before you even start. That's why billionaires design their mornings. They don't scroll into the day, they don't react to chaos. Because whoever controls the first hour controls the rest. Here's a hard question. Why are you giving your best energy to things that don't build your future? Email can wait. Noise can wait. Other people's priorities can wait. Your highest value work cannot. Once that energy window closes, it's gone. You don't get it back tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own limits. Most people think discipline is about forcing yourself. It's not. It's about alignment. When your most important work matches your strongest energy, work stops feeling heavy. Momentum kicks in. Confidence grows. Results stack faster than you expect. That's not motivation. That's physics. So here's the shift. Stop asking, what should I do today? Start asking, what deserves my best energy? Then build your day around that answer. Not perfectly, not all at once, one decision at a time. Because once you respect your energy, time starts working for you. And that's when everything changes. Not because you worked longer, but because you finally worked right. And this is only the beginning. Here is how elimination creates power. Most people think success comes from doing more effort, more hours, more commitments. That belief is exhausting, and it's wrong. Billionaires don't win by addition. They win by removal. They understand something most people avoid. Every extra thing you tolerate steals power from what actually matters. Larry Ellison is famous for walking out of meetings, not because he's rude, because he's precise. If the conversation drifts, he's gone. 5 wasted minutes today turn into years over a lifetime. He doesn't manage time. He defends it. Most people sit through meetings they don't need. Listen to conversations that go nowhere. Say yes out of habit. Then they wonder why they feel drained. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your calendar is lying to you. It looks full, it looks productive, but fullness isn't power. Focus is. A packed schedule doesn't mean progress. It often means avoidance. Busy feels safe. Busy feels important. But being busy rarely changes anything. High performers live by a brutal rule. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't belong. No guilt, no overthinking. They don't ask, can I fit this in? They ask, what does this replace? That question changes everything, because suddenly, every commitment has a cost. And most things aren't worth paying for. Think about your last 7 days. What drained you? What annoyed you? What felt necessary but changed nothing? Those aren't small problems, those are silent leaks. And leaks sink ships. Mark Zuckerberg once said that saying no is just as important as saying yes. Not someday, now. Every yes steals time from something else, usually from thinking, from learning, from building, the things that actually create freedom. Most people avoid elimination because it feels uncomfortable. They don't want to disappoint, they don't want to explain, they don't want to feel selfish. But here's the reality, protecting your time isn't selfish, wasting it is. When you show up drained and unfocused, everyone loses. Billionaires are ruthless here. They cut tasks before they cut sleep. They cut noise before they cut growth. They cut obligations before they cut vision. They treat their calendar like a profit statement. If something doesn't pay returns, it's removed immediately. Here's a powerful exercise. Ask this question about everything you do. If this disappeared tomorrow, would my life actually suffer? If the answer is no, you found something to eliminate. Not next month, not later, now. Elimination creates space. Space creates clarity. Clarity creates momentum. And momentum changes everything. You don't need a better system. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer drains. Look at your phone. How many apps fight for your attention? How many notifications interrupt your thinking? Together they destroy focus. Billionaires don't rely on willpower. They remove temptation. Because discipline is easier when the wrong options don't exist. Here's the shift most people never make. They try to optimize chaos instead of removing it. They organize clutter. They schedule overload. High performers delete first, then they build. That's the difference. Ask yourself this, slowly. What am I tolerating that's stealing my energy every single day? That answer matters more than any productivity trick. Because once you remove the unnecessary, what's left finally has room to grow. Power isn't created by adding more weight, it's created by cutting what holds you down. And the moment you start eliminating, you don't just get time back, you get control. And that's real power. Indecision is invisible chaos. It doesn't look dramatic, it looks normal. A delayed reply, a choice pushed to tomorrow, a decision was left open. But every open loop drains your mind. Billionaires know this. They don't live with mental clutter. They clear it fast. Most people believe smarter means slower. They think thinking longer equals thinking better. That's false. High performers decide quickly on things that don't matter much. They save deep thought for the few decisions that shape years. That separation is everything. Jeff Bezos uses a simple filter. Some decisions are one-way doors, others are two-way doors. If you can reverse it, move fast. If you can't, slow down and think deeply. Most people reverse this. They overthink small choices and rush big ones. That's why they feel stuck. Here's what slow decisions really cost you. Mental fatigue. Lost confidence. Delayed momentum. Your brain stays busy even when you stop working. That's why you feel tired without knowing why. Your mind never rests because nothing is resolved. Mark Zuckerberg removed tiny decisions from his day, not because he couldn't handle them, but because he understood cost. Every choice pulls from a limited supply. When that supply runs out, quality drops. You become reactive, emotional, impatient. Sound familiar? Most people wake up already mentally exhausted. Not from work, from thinking about work. Unfinished choices, unanswered questions, half-made decisions. All of it sits in the background, stealing focus. That's not laziness, that's overload. Here's the breakthrough. Clarity feels light, confusion feels heavy. The difference is in decisions. Every clear decision returns energy to your system. Every delayed decision adds weight. Billionaires choose lightness. They also understand something critical. You don't need perfect information to make progress. You need enough information to move. Perfection is a trap. Progress creates feedback, and feedback sharpens judgment. Ask yourself this: what decision have I been avoiding because I'm afraid to be wrong? That hesitation is costing you more than a wrong choice ever would. Because most mistakes are fixable, lost momentum is not. High performers use deadlines aggressively, not to rush, to decide. They set decision windows. 5 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day. When the window closes, they choose. That rule eliminates mental drag. Here's another truth. Confidence doesn't come from certainty. It comes from commitment. Once you decide, your mind aligns. Energy returns. Focus sharpens. That's why action feels empowering. Look at your to-do list. How many items are actually decisions pretending to be tasks? Figure out, think about, decide on. Those aren't tasks, they're unresolved choices. Resolve them, and your workload shrinks instantly. Billionaires don't keep decisions in their heads. They externalize them, write them down, schedule them, close them. Your brain is for thinking, not storing stress. Here's a powerful shift. Ask this before every decision. Is this worth my energy right now? If no, decide quickly. If yes, protect the time to decide well. Simple, clean, effective. Most people feel overwhelmed not because they have too much to do, but because too much is undecided. Clarity is calming. Decisions create clarity, and speed creates confidence. The cleaner your mind, the sharper your focus. The sharper your focus, the faster you move. And when you move faster on the right things, life stops feeling heavy. It starts feeling intentional. That's the power of fast decisions. And once you experience it, you'll never tolerate mental clutter again. Here is how systems beat willpower. Willpower is unreliable. It feels strong in the morning. It disappears under pressure. It collapses when life gets loud. Billionaires don't bet their future on something that weak. They build systems, because systems work even when motivation doesn't. Most people try to force discipline. They tell themselves, tomorrow I'll try harder. They rely on mood, on energy swings, on inspiration. That's why progress comes in bursts, then disappears. High performers remove emotion from execution. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, is the system running? Steve Ballmer didn't rely on memory. He relied on structure. Clear rules, clear processes, clear expectations. When systems are clear, action becomes automatic. No debate, no delay. That's power. People confuse effort with effectiveness. They grind harder inside broken systems. That doesn't build success. It builds burnout. Billionaires step back first. They ask, why does this require so much effort? Then they redesign the process. A system is simple. If X happens, I do Y. No thinking. No negotiation. Morning routine, work blocks, decision rules. The simpler the system, the stronger it becomes. Most people repeat the same tasks over and over. Explaining, checking, fixing. Billionaires hate repetition. If something happens twice, they systemize it. Because repetition without structure is a wasted life. Here's a powerful question. What am I still doing manually that a system could handle once and forever? That answer reveals your bottlenecks. And bottlenecks kill momentum. High performers design environments that support success. They don't rely on self-control. They remove friction. If they want focus, distractions disappear. If they want consistency, triggers are built in. The environment does the work. Look at your surroundings. Do they support growth or sabotage it? Your space is a system. Your schedule is a system. Your habits are systems. Right now, they're either helping you or quietly holding you back. Billionaires delegate early, not because they're lazy, because leverage matters. If someone else can do it 80% as well, it's gone. That frees mental space for decisions that matter. Control is overrated. Outcomes are not. Most people think systems limit freedom. The opposite is true. Systems create freedom. When execution is automatic, your mind is free to think, create, and lead. Without systems, everything depends on you, and that's a ceiling. Here's a reframe. If your business, work, or life stops when you stop, you don't have freedom. You have responsibility overload. Systems break that cycle. High performers review systems regularly, not to obsess, to improve leverage. They ask, where am I still the bottleneck? Then they fix that point. One system at a time. Start small. One morning routine, one work process, one decision rule. Build once, benefit daily. That's compounding. Willpower fades. Systems endure. When life gets hard, systems hold the line. And when systems are strong, progress becomes inevitable. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your knees. And the moment you build the right ones, everything accelerates. Outcomes over hours. Busy is seductive. It feels productive, it looks responsible, it wins praise. But busy is often a disguise, a way to feel useful without moving forward. Billionaires see through it instantly. They don't ask, how long did this take? They ask, what did this produce? Most people trade hours for effort. They show up, they stay late, they grind. And at the end of the day, nothing meaningful has changed. Exhausted, but not advanced. That's not work. That's motion. Jeff Bezos doesn't measure days by activity. He measures them by the decisions made and results created. One clear outcome beats 10 busy hours every time, because progress isn't linear, it's leveraged. Here's the hard truth. You can work all day and still avoid the one thing that would actually move your life. Answering messages, attending meetings, tweaking details, all safe, all comfortable, all low impact. High performers define the win first. They ask, when this is done, what must be true? That question cuts through the noise. If the work doesn't move toward that answer, it doesn't belong. Think about yesterday. What outcome were you actually aiming for? Not what you did, what you changed. If that's unclear, your effort was unfocused. An unfocused effort burns energy fast. Most people overvalue effort and undervaluation of direction. They assume more hours mean more results. That's rarely true. The right hour beats 10 wrong ones. Billionaires protect outcome time. Deep work. Strategic thinking. High-impact conversations. They guard it aggressively because they know something critical. Once the day fills up, outcomes disappear. Here's a question that stings. If your day ended early, would the most important thing still be done? If not, your priorities are backward. High-impact work goes first. Everything else fights for leftovers. People confuse urgency with importance. Urgent feels loud. Important feels quiet. Notifications scream. Outcomes whisper. Billionaires train themselves to listen to whispers. They also understand this. Work expands to fill the time you give it. If you allow 8 hours, it takes 8. If you demand results in 2, clarity appears. Constraints sharpen focus. Look at your task list. How many items are actually outcomes? How many are just actions? Finished proposal is an action. Secure approval is the outcome. Actions keep you busy. Outcomes move the needle. Here's the shift. Stop ending days by asking, what did I do? Start asking, what changed because of me? That question rewires how you work. High performers don't chase perfection. They chase completion. A finished result creates feedback. Feedback creates improvement. Waiting for the perfect kills momentum. Most people think results require more time. Often they require more courage. The courage to focus, to say no, to do the uncomfortable thing first. That's where outcomes live. Billionaires are ruthless with low-value work. They automate it, delegate it, or eliminate it, not someday. Now. Because every minute spent there steals from impact. Here's the reality. If you don't define your outcomes, someone else will define your day. And their outcomes won't build your future. So here's the challenge. Tomorrow morning, write down one outcome. Just one. Make it clear. Make it meaningful. Then protect the time to create it. Nothing else matters until that's done. Because when outcomes lead, time obeys. Progress accelerates, and life stops feeling like a treadmill. It starts feeling intentional. That's the power of choosing outcomes over hours. Here is how time reveals identity. Your calendar never lies. Not your goals, not your affirmations, not your intentions. Your time does. It quietly shows what you value, what you avoid, and who you're becoming. Every single day, people say they want more freedom, more success, more control. But their time tells a different story. Scrolling instead of learning, reacting instead of building, consuming instead of creating. The gap between who you say you want to be and how you spend your time is the gap that defines your life. Billionaires understand this early. They don't wait for motivation to show up. They don't wait to feel ready. They pre-commit. Time is blocked before emotion enters the room, because emotion is unreliable. Identity is not. Jeff Bezos schedules thinking time, not because he's slow, because he's strategic. Warren Buffett schedules learning, not because he has spare hours, because growth is non-negotiable. They don't fit the future into leftover time, they put it first. Most people reverse that order. They give their best hours to maintenance, emails, requests. And then they wonder, why do their dreams stay distant? Dreams don't die from lack of talent. They die from a lack of scheduled respect. Here's a question that cuts deep. If someone studied your calendar for a month, who would they say you're becoming? Not who you admire, not who you talk about, who your time proves you are. Sit with that. Identity is not a thought, it's a pattern. And patterns are built in minutes and hours, not big moments. That's why time matters more than motivation. High performers build identity through repetition. They don't rely on dramatic breakthroughs. They rely on small scheduled actions that stack. Thinking time, learning time, creation time. Every day looks ordinary, but over the years it becomes extraordinary. Most people wait for clarity before they act. Billionaires act to create clarity. They use time as a vote. Every focused hour says, this is who I am now. And over time, the identity locks in. There's a hard truth here. If you don't decide who you're becoming, your environment will decide for you. Your phone, your job, your routines. None of them cares about your potential. They only reinforce your habits. That's why billionaires protect mornings, not for productivity, for identity. The first hour isn't about output, it's about alignment. Because once the day pulls you into reaction, identity weakens. Look at how you start most days. Do you create first or consume first? That one choice sets the tone for everything that follows. Creation builds identity. Consumption maintains the status quo. Here's another question. Slow down. What version of you is being reinforced by your daily schedule? The builder or the observer? The leader or the responder? The answer is already there. High performers don't let time drift. They anchor it. Weekly reviews, monthly resets, long-term blocks, they zoom out often. Because identity isn't built in a rush. It's built with intention. Most people underestimate this. They think identity changes after success. It doesn't. Identity creates success, and time is the tool that shapes it. If you want to become someone new, don't wait for a breakthrough. Change the calendar. Protect 1 hour that represents your future self. Learning, building, thinking. Whatever aligns with who you want to become. Because every day you delay, you're reinforcing the old version. And every day you commit, you're stepping into the next one. Your time is voting every hour, every day. The only question left is, who are you voting to become? Because once your time aligns with your future, everything else follows. And that's when life stops feeling accidental and starts feeling chosen. Here is the final truth. Take a breath. Everything you've heard in this video comes down to one truth. Time isn't the enemy. Comfort is. Comfort keeps you busy. Comfort keeps you distracted. Comfort keeps tomorrow safely out of reach. And that's why nothing changes. You don't need more hours. You need more honesty. Honesty about what you're tolerating. Honesty about what you're avoiding. Honesty about where your best energy is going. Because time always tells the truth. Right now, your life is moving in the direction of your daily decisions, not your hopes, not your plans. Your decisions, small ones, quiet ones, repeated ones, and they are stacking faster than you think. Most people wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for clarity. They wait for the right time. That time never shows up. High performers create it. They decide first. They commit. Then they build momentum. Here's the moment that matters. Not tomorrow morning. Not next week. Now, because the next hour is already being decided. The question is, by whom? You've seen how the ultra-successful think. They protect energy. They eliminate distractions. They decide fast. They build systems. They focus on outcomes. They align time with identity, not because they're special, but because they're intentional. And here's the uncomfortable part. You already know what to do. The task you've been delaying, the distraction you keep justifying, the hour you keep giving away. You know? So stop negotiating with yourself. Ask this slowly. What is the one change that would make everything else easier? Not 10 changes. One. The one that scares you just enough to matter. Because growth isn't loud, it's quiet, it's uncomfortable, it's chosen in moments like this, when no one is watching. When excuses feel tempting, when comfort whispers later, later is expensive, later costs years, and years don't refund. So here's the challenge. When this video ends, don't scroll. Don't distract yourself. Don't delay. Take 5 minutes. Just 5. Redesign 1 hour of your day. Protect it. Name it. Defend it. Make it non-negotiable. That single hour can change your momentum. Momentum changes confidence. Confidence changes identity. Identity changes destiny. Not overnight, but permanently. And one day, sooner than you think, you'll look back and realize this was the moment everything shifted, not because time changed, but because you did. Now the clock is moving. It always is. The only question left, will the next hour be wasted, or will it finally be claimed? Share this video with the people you truly care about, your family, your friends, the ones who matter most to you. Sometimes, a single share can spark hope, inspire a dream, or bring a smile to someone who really needs it today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be part of something bigger. Together, let's walk the path of growth, mindset, and success. The path followed by billionaires. And rise, learn, and win together.